39 years into Emperor Kangxi's reign, there was a terrible flood on the Yangtze River that displaced, killed, and starved millions. On the Emperor's request, the Crown Prince and Minister of Revenue were sent to oversee relief, but the relief funds were surprisingly stolen shortly along the way. Loathing the government's pretense, the people rebelled. Outraged, the Emperor confined the Crown Prince and put the Minister of Revenue in prison, waiting for trial. That night, a group of men in black snuck into the minister's mansion to murder and burn the residence to the ground. Your mother defended you and your nanny in the wing room.
Please protect her. I'll draw the intruders away.
Don't leave me!
Seeing you cry in fear, your mother wept too. She raised her blood-stained hands to wipe away your tears.
Take care, my sweet.
With those words, she forced you and the nanny to hide under the bed. You struggled to break free, but your nanny held you tightly. Your mother took up her sword and walked off, but before she could reach the door, it was forced open from the outside.
The general would have been proud to have such a daughter. I've lost many men to you tonight.
The voice crept down your spine like a snake's tongue. You couldn't help but tremble. You struggled to peer out and could only see the fires outside. The sound of clanging weapons rang by your ears. Suddenly, your mother groaned and fell softly to the ground. A long sword thrust through her chest. Wide-eyed, you stared at the black-gloved hand holding the hilt. The cold blade and glove were stained with blood.
Filthy.
He took off his glove, revealing a ghastly black scar on his palm. You were consumed with grief, sorrow, and hatred. Your nanny held you closely. It was too hard to bear. Then, you fainted. After that, a rumor spread that the Minister of Revenue had committed suicide in prison after swallowing a blood letter implicating the Crown Prince's guilt. However, this fact was covered up by the Crown Prince, so it was even rumored that the Crown Prince had set fire to the minister's mansion to keep his secret. However, these matters of intrigue no longer concern you. Now, you sell your own embroideries for a living and live with your nanny.
Nanny, I'm back.
My lady, you've been working hard. Come and take a seat.
You put down your embroidery basket and sit beside your nanny's bed. You reach out and pat her on the back gently. Since that day you escaped certain death, your nanny's health has deteriorated significantly. Will you persuade her to go to the clinic? You're considerate, compassionate, and caring. Your luck increases.
Never mind, I'm getting better. I'll be back. I should be the one taking care of you. But it's been quite the opposite recently.
Your nanny rubs your hand with a loving touch, but involuntarily you pull it back. You pour a cup of water from the table and pass it to her.
Things are different now. I am no longer a noble lady in Minister's mansion. Now there are only two of us. Mother, please drink some tea.
She hides her face and weeps, reaching out to hug you in her arms, calling your name in a soft voice, and you begin to cry, too.
Is anybody here?
Hearing Eunuch Shun's voice coming from outside, you wipe your tears and find your clothes wet. You go to the wardrobe to fetch some new clothes to wear. After dressing yourself, you open the door to find Eunuch Shun standing outside.
Little Shun, why are you back?
I was sent out on an errand, and I'd like to pass by to greet you. My father happened to be out hunting.
so I asked him to set aside a rabbit for you.
Little Shun shows you the rabbit in his hand and smiles warm-heartedly.
Thank you so much.
You reach out to hold the rabbit. As your fingertips touch its ear, you recoil in horror at the thought of killing it and begin to pat.
I dare not kill it.
Eunuch Shun is shocked and suddenly raises his hand to scratch his head, embarrassed by your reaction.
Stupid me. How dare a girl like you kill a rabbit? I'll carry it back to take care of it, and then bring it back to you.
You don't have to. I wouldn't want to trouble you.
It's no trouble at all. Stay here. I'll bring it to you later.
Wait for a moment, please.
You go back to the room, take out an embroidered pouch from the embroidery basket, turn around and go out, not noticing a note fall to the ground.
Little Shun, I don't really have much for you, but take this pouch. You can use it as your coin.
Eunuch Shun's face turns red, and he begins scratching his head again.
It would be a waste for me to accept such a beautiful thing. You'd be better off selling it.
I can make another one. Please, take it.
In case that he will refuse again, you place the pouch in his hands, turn around, and walk quickly into the room.
Is that little Shun?
Yes, Little Shun has been sent out of the palace today on errands. He brought us a rabbit, so I gave him a pouch.
Little Shun is a good man. But it's a pity that he entered the palace. So
Your nanny feels sorry for Eunuch Shun, and so do you. But you're now in a difficult situation. All you can do is try your best to help take care of his...
Nanny, I owe the fabric shop some money for the cloth bought before, and I'll take the money over to shop owner and bring back some new cloth.
Your kindness for me shall be repaid.
May we spend our lives together.
Without rules, there is nothing.
Thank you for your majesty's grace. Hail to your majesty.
Because you return the money on time, the kind shop owner gives you some rags left over from making clothes. It's midday and the sun is shining, and you are hot to the point of sweating in the scorching heat. As you pause to wipe off the sweat, you notice at the other end of the alley there are two men staring at you. After a short rest, you continue on your way. Suddenly, a shadow crosses your path. You look up to find a strong man right in front. Surprised and afraid, you take a step back. Suddenly, a scream bursts out. You see a man holding his foot on the ground, wailing in place. A crowd immediately begins to form around him.
What did you do to my friend?
The strong man grabs your hand violently.
My foot!
The man on the ground wails and takes off his shoe. There's a huge abscess on the top of his foot. The skin on the abscess is broken and oozing pus. The crowd seems doubtful and looks at you with a hint of blame.
I didn't do it!
You are certain that you didn't step on his foot.
You're denying it? You'll have to come with us to the clinic. The physician said it would be very bad if his abscesses were burst.
The strong man drags you to the side of the alley. The man on the ground stands up and limps behind him.
This little girl is so pure. She'll sell for a good price.
Hey, it's funny how you can just poke your abscesses a little.
The two of them laugh indecently, and you immediately realize that they're not planning on taking you to the clinic, but to sell you to a broth. You are dragged through the alley, screaming for help. But nope. You try to use the package in your right hand to hit him hard in the face and bite him as he clasps your left hand. Your shout for help is heard by someone.
You brat! Shut!
The man on the other side rushes in. As his big hand is about to cover your mouth, you quickly open wide and bite it, causing... The strong man grabs your hair as your teeth are still firmly sunk into the other man's hand. He screams in pain, and suddenly...
Idiot! None!
Her damn teeth won't let go!
He clenches his fist to hit you again. Suddenly, a silver light flashes before your eyes.